Okay, boys, so this is just a little recap of the accusative case, just to make sure that you've got it in your notes properly and that you understood it from stage 2 of the textbook. So if you want to add it in as a separate note, then this is going to be a title, the accusative. If you've already added it to your notes on the Latin rules and you feel confident about it, then just watch this video and check that you've got all the details there. Okay, so in stage 1, we met words that looked like this. So we had Caecilius, Metella. Those were names. We also had words like Philios, son, Coquus, cook. Okay. But then in stage 2, the endings of these words started to change. So instead of looking like that, they started to look like this. So Caecilius became Caecilium. Metella became Metellam. Philios became Philium. And Coquus became Coquum. Okay, just looking at those words, they all have this in common. They all end in M. And this is known as the accusative. It's a case, so you call it the accusative case. Every noun, so every name, every object, everything is in a particular case. These guys over here are in something called the nominative case. And these ones are in the accusative case. Okay, so write that down and highlight those M's. So the next question is, when do nouns need to be nominative? So when do they need to look like the column on the left? And when do nouns need to be accusative? So when do they need to look like the column on the right ending in M? And the answer to that is that if your noun or your person is doing an action, then it's in the nominative case. And if it's having something done to it, it's receiving an action, then it's in the accusative case. So let's write an example down here. So if we say Caecilios Metellam salutat. Okay, so here we've got a nominative, we've got an accusative because Metellam there ends in M, and then at the end we've got our verb. Now remember, we've got to translate this in a weird order, so we start with Caecilius, then we go to the verb at the end, so greets, and then we find our accusative, Metella. Now notice her name has changed when I put it into English, because her name is not Metellam, her name is Metella. So when I put it into English, I need to put it back to her proper name. The reason it ends in M in the Latin is because she's the accusative. She is the one being greeted here. Okay, we could change the order of that sentence, but it would make no difference because the M on the end tells you that Metellam is the one being greeted. Okay, let's swap the nominative and accusative and see how that changes things. So say we said Metella Caecilium salutat. So very similar sentence, except this time Caecilius has the M on the end. So this time we're going to translate it like this. Metella greets Caecilius, because this time Caecilius is receiving that action. Okay, make sure you write all that out in your books. Two slightly different examples here, but still this time with a nominative and an accusative. So we start with the cook, intrat, enters, the accusative, kitchen. And it ends with an M there because the kitchen is the thing that's being entered. Okay, second sentence, our M is here on the end of servum. The son praises the slave. There we go. And you'll notice that in English, the way that word's spelled has not changed at all. So it's still kitchen, it's still slave, the above sentences are still metella, still caecilios. So you don't see any evidence of that M in the English other than that you make sure that it's the thing that receives that action. Okay, so to finish off, nice big letters at the end, bright colours in a colourful box, however you're going to make it stand out. This is the key thing you need to remember. M on the end there is the accusative, and that means that whatever that word is, that is having something done to it. Okay, so whether it's someone being praised, someone being greeted, whether it's a room being entered, it's always having something done to it. And that's the accusative.